Good afternoon. This is Dr. Theodore Watkins, and welcome to another program of To Your Health. Excited to be with you today. Today we're going to talk about something that I guess for some is a little controversial, but for me is a matter of life and death. We're going to talk about juicing, and as it impacts cancer and other medical issues. Now, juicing is where you are separating the pulp from the juice, and or much of the fiber, not all of it, but much of the fiber from the vegetable or fruit, and it serves as a way of getting nutrition into the body. Now, we can go back at least to the 1920s when Max Gerson started his program for cancer, and one of the pillars of his program was carrot and apple juice. And through that program, Dr. Gerson, a German physician, was able to treat successfully a number of people with cancer. Certainly, most people would say that nutrition is important. But many would not go so far as to say that it should be the prime modality in treating cancer. As you know, my background is surgery, and when in surgery, I felt that the treatment for cancer was to cut it out, and I believe that and practiced that, and thought that we helped a number of people. When I left surgery and went into alternative medicine, many of my initial patients that came to me were patients that had failed surgery, that had failed chemo and radiation, and that had been sent home to die. And as a result, we had to find some way of working with them. And in studying, one of the things that I found was that nutrition was extremely important. I remember one point that was really paramount in my thinking was a video that actually a member of my church who was a nutritionist gave me to look at, to review, to be shown in the church. And I was over the medical committee and said, before we show anything, I got to review it so nobody be cutting my throat. And when I looked at it, it was a video that was made by a preacher. This preacher at 42 was diagnosed with colon cancer. It was 2 years after his mother had died from colon cancer. She had surgery, chemo, radiation, died a horrible death. And he decided that I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm not going that way, because he felt that modality actually contributed to her demise. And so he started asking around, and another preacher told him, go raw, George, go raw. And so he, in fact, did. And he came home, he threw everything in his refrigerator out, and he went raw. For 1 year, he ate nothing but raw foods. At the end of that year, his cancer was gone. All right. And when I listened to him, he said some things that got my attention. He talked about taking a carrot and cutting the top of the carrot off with its leaves and so forth, and sticking it in the ground and giving it water, giving it sunshine, giving it nutrition. And what would happen? Well, the carrot would grow. It would produce new carrots. It would root and produce new carrots. Take the rest of the carrot, juice it, and drink it. All right? Sounds good. Then he said, take another carrot, identical to the first one, but this time put it in some water. Boil it, steam it for just a few minutes, and then take the carrot out, cut the top off, stick it in the ground, give it some water, some sunshine, some food. What will happen? Well, many people will say nothing. Well, something will happen. That carrot will rot. Why will it rot? Because it is dead. And then take the rest of that dead carrot and eat it. Well, that got my attention. I then went to the medical school. Actually, I went to the Department of Nutrition. I had a friend there, and I said, find someone who's an authority on what heat does to food. And she found a doctor for me who gave me a stack of articles on the impact of heat on food. When I read the articles, I was amazed because I had taken a nutrition course in medical school, which really wasn't very good. It was horrible. All right. Because the nutritionist knew biochemistry, but she didn't know nutrition. She didn't know how to get patients well with nutrition. And so for me, that was really a waste. But getting back to the story, the articles said that if you heat food between 105 and 115 degrees Fahrenheit, all the enzymes would be killed. Also, all of the vitamins except niacin and vitamin K would be moderately to severely altered by the heat. Now, we're talking about 105 to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Water boils at 212. We bake between 350 and 550 degrees Fahrenheit. So at the temperatures that we're cooking at, we're destroying all enzymes and modifying all the vitamins. So that got my attention. Then he gave an experiment. He talked about these rats that had been fed the standard American diet for the equivalent of 40 years. And, because of the heart rate of rats, they can equate what a human year is in just a very short period of time. And so 40 years, they sacrificed them. They had all the diseases that we die of. They had heart disease. They had, atherosclerotic disease. They had cancers. They had diabetes. They had obesity. They had everything. Then he took another group of rats and he fed them raw for 40 years. Sacrificed them. They had nothing. Then he took a third group of rats and they put them on the standard American diet for the equivalent of 40 years, sacrificed half of them. They had all the diseases. The other half, they changed their diets and they put them on a raw diet plan. And at the end, for another 40 years, and then sacrificed them. And it turns out that they had no diseases. Now, we know that at 40 years, they had diseases because all the others did. And they were on the same diet. They were from the same line. But here at 80 now, because of the diet, they had no diseases. And that really got my attention. Then another thing that happened in my maturation was a doctor out in California that had severe breast cancer that was removed at an early stage, but that came back with vengeance after some months. And she healed herself with mainly juicing and a plant-based diet. Now, she talked about taking 10 to 13 glasses of fresh juice a day. And because of the progress that she had gotten, I decided to up the juicing of my patients from the 4 glasses a day to that 10 to 13 glasses. And when this happened, it was amazing, the results. These patients that were sent home to die started not only recovering, but recovering completely, reversing those incurable cancers. And so it taught me that there's something to this nutrition thing. There's something to this raw thing. There's something to this juicing thing. Now, I mentioned that Max Gerson, who did a lot of the early work in juicing, that he used carrot and apple as a base of his juice. And some would say, well, when you have cancer, you don't want to give sugar because the sugar would make the cancer grow. Well, the reality is that I use Dr. Day's formula, 8 glasses of carrot and apple, 4 glasses of apple and green leafy vegetables, and 1 glass of orange juice with my patients. And I've seen breast, prostate, pancreas, lung, brain, all of these cancers, liver, reverse without any difficulties. I mean, it's amazing. I remember one case, and I talk about it all the time because it was so significant. This lady had inflammatory breast carcinoma. Now, inflammatory breast carcinoma is a disease that when I was in surgery, we would operate not to get her well, because we knew that we could not get them well, that they were going to die. The cancer infected the lymphatics. There was something called podiaca. I mean, the breast looked like an orange, podi orange, we called it, and meant that it was all in the lymphatics. And it was the patient was going to die. We would take the breast off so that it wouldn't ulcerate, it wouldn't fungate, it wouldn't stink, and the patient would be able to be around their family and have family around them when they died. I got a patient with this inflammatory breast carcinoma and encouraged her, tried to talk her into having surgery. I said, I have a friend who's an outstanding surgeon. Let him operate, remove the breast, and then you come back and we will work to really extend your life with nutrition. She said, Dr. Watkins, I came with 2. I'm leaving with 2. And this was, I said, well, you're the boss. I'm not your boss. You tell me what to do. I don't tell you what to do. I advise. I don't dictate. And so we put her on our cancer regimen. And to my amazement, that incurable cancer went away completely. And I was just amazed that this would happen. And then the cancer came back. And I said, oh, what am I doing wrong? And I kept looking and I said, well, I'm really doing the same thing. And I set her down. I said, let's go through what you're doing. And we went down the list and we got to juicing. And she said, Dr. Watkins, I told you that my juicer was broke. I said, you also told me that you were going to ask your father to buy you a juicer. She said, I could not ask him. Her father had left them when she was very, very young, had later come back in their lives, but she just didn't have the relationship with her father that she could ask her father for anything. I fussed at her, went home, got an extra juicer that I had, gave it to her. She started juicing again, and once again, amazingly so, the cancer went away again. This and many other patients have taught me the power of juicing. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you have a situation where you have seen a benefit, whether cancer or some other disease from juicing, feel free to give us a call. The number here is 202-588-0893. That's 202-588-0893. Now, we use juicing, especially early on in the process, because juices seem to go right into the digestive system. It bypasses the whole digestive process and enters into the cell. It's like giving an IV to a patient, and so they get an immediate immediate impact from the juicing. And so we use juicing early on with much of the fiber removed. But there is a time that you can, in fact, use smoothies also, and that's something else. But smoothies contain the fiber, goes through the digestive process, and so we certainly advise using smoothies as well as juices. The number here once again is 202-588-0893. Call in with comments, questions, experiences. Let's go to our phones. Yes, caller, you're on the line.
Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Hi. Good afternoon. I used to juice, and I decided that it was wasting a lot of pulp and things from the organic materials I was buying, so I decided just to eat more raw vegetables. And
Okay.
could that not be the case, that raw spinach and raw carrots and raw onions, eating raw, is equal to juicing?
No, it doesn't equal juicing. And I'll tell you why. Because if you juice a glass of, let's say, carrot juice, it will take you 4 to 6 carrots to make 1 glass of carrot juice. You're not going to sit down and eat 4 to 6 carrots. You're certainly not going to do it 8 to 10 times or up to 13 times a day, which we put our patients on. And I found that the number of glasses of juice makes a difference in terms of the healing process. And so you're able to get much more concentrated nutrition by juicing. Yes, you lose some with in the pulp, some fiber and even some nutrients, but especially early on with my cancer patients, juicing is the way to go. Yes, you were going to say something?
Well, I was going to say, what about a masticator versus a juicer? I'm trying not to waste all that pulp.
Well, if you don't have cancer or some serious disease like that, that may be sufficient for you. But if you have cancer, I would strongly suggest that you consider juicing at least until that cancer gets under control.
Instead of a masticator, the masticators are the grind with the Vitamix. They don't.
Yeah, I use I have a Vitamix. I use it almost every day, and so I make smoothies out of that Vitamix, and it's an excellent way of getting nutrition in. But using smoothies, because it contains the fiber, it has to go through the digestive process. And trust me, you don't get the same results with the smoothies as you do with the juicing.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Number's 202-588-0893, 202-588-0893. Yes, caller, you're on the line.
Yes, hello.
Yes, hello.
I'm Christine Green. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Miss Green.
I need to find out, I have a blender. How can I use my blender for that recipe? You talk so fast I couldn't get the recipe.
Okay, so blenders, that they will make smoothies, all right? Like the previous caller, she talked about the Vitamix. The Vitamix is a powerful professional blender, and I recommend it for all of my patients that they have a blender. Specifically, I recommend the Vitamix because of the power of it and the durability of the machine. But that does not take the place of juicing. All right. And so you will not get the same thing with the blender that you get with juicing. They serve two different functions. I recommend smoothies. As I said, I drink them just about every day. They call me the smoothie king around my house because I believe my smoothies need to taste good and at the same time be quite nutritious. But at the same time, we also believe in juicing. And so we juice. My wife does most of the juicing. I do most of the smoothies. And, so we use both. But for cancer, especially in the early treatment phase, I highly recommend the juicing.
May I have the recipe again?
It wasn't, I didn't give any recipes. What I said was for people with cancer, I recommend that they have 8 glasses of carrot and apple juice, 4 glasses of apple and green leafy vegetable, and 1 glass of orange juice. We do have recipes. You can call the office and we'll be glad to share recipes with you. Thank you very much. 202-588-0893. Yes, caller. You're on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Am I live?
You're live.
Oh, great. So I have a mother that is got breast cancer a couple times now. This is her 3rd time. And, we've tried everything. I was listening to you talking about earlier your previous patients tried chemo and surgery. She did all the above. She went through a mastectomy. She went through the whole chemo cycle, and then she now has it for a 3rd time. So my question to you is, what is the probability rate? If you were to guesstimate, what is the probability rate of this juicing healing or reversing cancer?
Well, it depends on her ability to take in the fluids. I've treated patients that have had the cancer for the 3rd time, and we were able to get them to reverse it. But it's not an easy thing. You're taking in a lot of juices and other herb teas and so forth, and so it's a lot. But if they can do it, to me, there's a good possibility that that cancer can be, in fact, reversed. I've seen them. I've seen patients on hospice, come back with breast cancer that's gone to the lungs, etc. Cancers that have gone to the brain. Many of them have been able to be reversed.
Okay. And then I have a secondary question. When you talk about juicing, are you saying juicing as a standalone regimen, or are these patients also eating? Are they also eating traditional foods, the stuff that's quote-unquote bad for us, like the fried foods, rice,
they're absolutely not. At least I tell them not to. And in fact, what I tell them is to eat, to take in juice. Before you take in anything solid, you take in at least those 13 glasses of juice a day, or that you're going to be able to do it. You may take in 5 and then eat something, then take in more. But you're going to get your 13 glasses of juice a day. And then the other foods, early on, primarily, I recommend almost all raw, with the exception I use rice and with whole grain rice with my cancer patients also. So they have some cooked rice initially, but other than that, they're primarily taking in juices.
Okay, and how do you solve the protein issue?
It's not an issue. We don't need protein. We need amino acids, and if you eat something with protein, it has to be broken down into its constituent amino acids, and then build the specific protein that you need. those amino acids are in the fruits and vegetables that you take in, and so therefore the body can get all the protein it needs. Just like the elephant gets all its protein from vegetables, the giraffe, the hippopotamus, the gorilla, they all get their protein by eating vegetables. So can we.
Perfect. Got it. Thank you so much. This was very eye-opening, very enlightening, and I'm going to, try something new with my mom and hope that it works.
If you need any help, you let me know.
Thank you so much.
All right. The number is 202-588-0893, 202-588-0893. This is Dr. Theodore Wakins. The program is To Your Health. We're talking about the power of juicing, especially with cancer and other chronic debilitated diseases. Let's go back to our phones. Yes, caller. You're on the
Hello.
line. Yes.
Dr. Watson?
Yes.
Hello. First time. It's a pleasure to listen to you and to gain some of your knowledge. I have a question and a request.
All right.
First question, sir. Organic or non-organic for your juices and in your juicing and smoothies?
All right. There are certain foods we call the dirty dozen that we believe should be organic. Things like carrots, like apples, grapes, red seeded grapes, I think is extremely good. They should be organic. Your leafy vegetables should all be organic. There are other things like pineapple, that have a thick covering. They don't necessarily have to be organic. I think it's what the 15 clean or something like that. But you can go online and find those lists, the dirty dozen, and then the ones that are recommended that should be that don't have to be organic. They don't contain the residual pesticides that would be in something like the apple or the carrot.
Yes, sir. Okay, and request. But I guess this is one more question. Do you take patients?
Yes, we do.
Okay, and so to get all that information, just
I'll give my number at the end, or matter of fact, you could hold on, and they'll take your number, and I'll give you a call and give you the office number.
Yes, sir. I will hold on. Thank you very much.
Thank you. 202-588-0893, 202-588-0893. Let's go back to our phones. Yes, caller, you're on the line.
Hello, Dr. Watkins.
How are you doing?
I'm great and grateful and blessed. And my name is Rosalind. And I'd like to thank you for sharing your wisdom publicly. I am a survivor of cancer.
Yes.
I keep a juicer. And I've actually been using juices, carrot, apple, leafy vegetables, since the early to mid-'80s. I used to be a patient of Dr. H. Garland Chazelle before he passed.
Yes, yes.
And I'd just like to say on this show that I am so grateful for my health and so grateful to hear you spreading the word. And I will continue. I'm ready. I'm almost ready to go raw. That's one thing I haven't done. I've done it off and on in the past, but I want to stick to it.
What type of cancer did you have?
Thymoma.
Thymoma. Okay, that's
yes. They removed a tumor.
Yes.
From my breastbone.
Yes. Yes.
And I have survived.
It's a very rare, very rare cancer.
Yes, it's very rare. And I just finished having a bronchoscopy. And I survived it, the biopsies and everything. And I'm so grateful for my diet.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And I want to thank you. Thank you. And
right.
I will keep listening.
All right.
Thank you.
You have an outstanding day. 202-588-0893, 202-588-0893. We're talking about the use of juicing in the treatment of cancer and other chronic debilitative diseases. Let's go back to our phones. Yes, caller. You're on the line.
Hello.
Yes, you're on the line.
Yes, sir. I do have a question. I suffer badly from degenerative joint disease. I have very bad arthritic knees, and certainly not to take anything away from the people who are cancer sufferers, but I was wondering if you had any knowledge or any experience in where juicing might help someone with degenerative joint disease or very bad arthritic joint.
Yes. You know, the raw diet is very, very helpful in that respect. It's very interesting. I became sort of popular in Washington D.C. for my treatment of arthritis. My first project, I went into some of the senior buildings in Washington D.C. and I went in to help reverse things like diabetes and heart disease and hypertension. But the people were interested in arthritis. And so I had to focus on arthritis. And I learned that if a person was willing to change, that they could often reverse the arthritis. I started generally by putting them on a fasting cleansing program, get the toxins and some of the inflammation out of the system. And then we changed the diet. Depending on where the pain is, we put them on an exercise program to exercise those joints, and often we get pretty good results.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for that information.
You're more than welcome. We're going to go quickly back to our phones. Yes, caller, you're on the line.
Yes, I guess it's a comment and a question. I guess is fiber, being that it's the part of the fruit and vegetables that is indigestible, and fiber can also make it the problem worse because the body can't break it down.
Well, fiber. First of all, there are several types of fiber. One is what we call insoluble fiber, and that's what people generally talk about. But there's also something called soluble fiber, like in the apple, we call it the pectin. It's this soluble fiber. It still adds bulk to the stool. My patients that juice, they have plenty good bowel movements.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And I'm not against fiber. I think fiber is very important. Fiber takes away the bad bacteria and so forth, helps produce good bacteria, and has many positive functions. But all I'm saying is that in the early stages of cancer, I recommend the juicing, where they're taking most of the fiber out of their diet for 2 to 3 months, until they can actually get control of their disease, and then they move into taking in more foods with fiber also.
Yeah, I agree that you're correct with the movements that you have, because it will make your movements more hydrated and consistent with that fiber included. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
202-588-0893, 202-588-0893. Let's go back to our phones. Yes, caller, you're on the line.
Dr. Wakins, how are you, sir? This is Dean.
Hey, Dean. Good hearing your voice, my brother.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
You're a juicy man. Tell him, Dean.
Correct. Yeah. Listen, Dr. Wakins, my daughter is pregnant, and she's having somewhat of a challenge. And, so the baby is underweight, and there seems to be something else wrong with the baby's heart or something. But anyway, I told her, I gave her my blender so that she could, just to get some premium nutrition.
Yes.
And so I asked her, are you still using it? Are you, doing this, at least twice a day? And she said the doctor told her, to stop it. because the sugar that's in the fruit is not good for the baby.
The doctor doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm sorry.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said. So basically, I am going to sit her down and get her to listen to this show, on the archives. And I am so glad you have this show today, specifically for this reason.
I remember listening to a tape by the Juice Man, and he was comparing his two children, one that was born before he and his wife juiced, and the other after they started juicing. And he said the difference in them was like night and day,
Yeah.
So, but if she's worried about too much sugar, she can always mix the fruits and the vegetables together. But unfortunately, most doctors don't know nutrition. Like I said, I took a nutrition course in medical school, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Right.
And I tell nutritionists when they come to me, because nutritionists unfortunately don't know nutrition. All right?
Right.
No, I'm sorry. See, because if what you're doing is not getting your patient well, then you're not doing the right thing.
Exactly.
And if the nutritionist can't get the patients well, if they're not reversing diabetes, they're not reversing cancer, they're not reversing heart disease, kidney failure, et cetera, then there's a problem. I'm sorry, because I've seen all of them reverse with good nutrition.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother. 202-588-0893. Yes, caller. You're on the line.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Extremely well.
Okay, so I was diagnosed with something called H. pylori a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And the protocol didn't work for me.
All right.
So what I end up doing recently is, in the last week, I did some turmeric, ginger, honey, and lemon tea. And I've seen some results. I haven't done any juicing, but I do notice it feels like I have asthma in my chest.
Okay, so let me help you right quick. The way I approach it, first thing I do, I put a patient on a fast. All right. That's the first thing. Get the system cleaned out. Get rid of those toxins. And then one of the things that I have found that's very, very important, when you look at this, you said your problem was what?
They said it was H. pylori.
H. pylori.
Yeah.
Oranges. Oranges contain, especially the white of the orange, contains something called limonene. All right. And if you go and look it up, you'll find out that limonene will kill the bacteria. All right. Will kill the H. pylori. And so eating and juicing the oranges would help a great deal. And so that's, you could also, there are other things, that there's a garlic based solution that I use that's also very, very helpful with H. pylori. So there are other things that can help to kill the bacteria.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. 202-588-0893. Dr. Theodore Watkins, the program To Your Health. Let's go back to our phones. Yes, caller, you're on the line.
Hey, Doc.
Yes.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. Very well.
This is Frank.
I recognize that voice.
Yes, sir. I'm just calling to testify.
Yes, sir. Testify.
Juicing works.
Now, how you know?
Liver cancer in 2013, stage 3.
Yeah.
6 months to live, they gave me.
All right.
3 sets of doctors.
And when was this?
This was in 2013.
But this is 2019.
Yes, sir. 2019. My health is great. I'm 71 years old. It works. The only thing is, it's a lifestyle change, as you preach often. You can't go back to to doing what it was you used to do. So you got to do organic. Got to do raw. A lot of raw. You can't go back to that crazy stuff. The things that cause the cancer.
About how long did it take you to reverse your cancer?
1 year.
1 year.
Diagnosed no cancer at all. But now that's when the radiological evidence, the images came back. But we had the numbers down, and I'm Doc's patient, by the way. We had the numbers down way before then. There's a particular number called the alpha fetal protein, and that's a tumor marker.
Right.
And
the normal is 0 to 8.
Yeah, and mine was 1498 at its worst stage. And that was like November 2013. By February, we had it down to 4-something. And by, I think it was June or so, it was down in the teens.
Yes. What is it now?
Teens, but you know, we got it down.
What was the lowest you've ever gotten it down to?
In between that marker, 0 and 8.
Yeah. It seemed like it was 6 point something.
Six something.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it can happen. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, sir. It can happen. It can happen.
How many glasses of juice were you drinking?
I was drinking at 13.
All right. Yep. And he did it. I mean, he stuck to it. When he first came to me, he looked like death. He was emaciated, and he had improved.
Yeah, I improved.
He had improved because he started juicing on his own.
Mm-hmm.
He had improved. And by the third time he came, he looked healthy. And has looked healthy ever since. So I thank you for calling. It works. I've had Frank on the program sharing several times, and so we're thankful for him and what he's doing to help so many others. I send some of my patients to Frank. Say, go talk to this man, because he'll tell you it can be done. All right, thank you so much, and you have an outstanding day. We just got about 6 more minutes to go. So let's quickly go back to our phones. Just caller, you're on the line.
Hi, Dr. Wakins.
Yes.
Hi. A breast cancer patient, a survivor, is on a 5-year regimen of a medication to reduce estrogen.
Yes.
Is it okay? I'm trying to get this person to continue a plant-based diet. Is it okay to provide juicing and raw foods that promote estrogen?
Yeah, estrogen, I hate to say it, but someone had said it before me. If estrogen was the cause of breast cancer, ladies would get breast cancer when they were in their teens and early 20s. If testosterone was the cause of prostate cancer, then men would get prostate cancer in their early 20s. So clearly, that's not the cause of the cancer. And those juices, those foods, they have been shown to reverse the cancers.
That relieves me, because I'm stuck in indulging food.
Yes. If you're eating the fruits and the vegetables, they will definitely help the body to heal itself, build that immune system, which is the basic problem when it comes to cancer.
Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. Let's go back to our phones quickly. Yes, caller, you're on the line.
Good afternoon, Dr. Walker. You're doing an astronomical job of monumental proportion. Doctor, I have a 16-year-old nephew that's stayed with me 3 nights last week. He came in, and he's suffering from, it was detected after he left. He's suffering with something they call Crohn's disease.
Crohn's disease, yes.
Yes, sir. Is any catastrophic condition can be caused?
Yeah, we get Crohn's disease under control. They're that diet thing, and then there's some other herbal supplements that we use, and Crohn's disease can definitely come under control. I'm treating several patients right now.
Oh, okay, sir.
It's called an inflammatory bowel disease, Crohn's and ulcerative colitis, and both of them are controllable and reversible.
It's been going on for a couple of years.
I understand.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you.
But there has to be a willingness to change. One of the concerns, though, young people, they're some of them will have to do some of the traditional therapies because if they're minors, the doctors may require it, and so they'll have to do in addition to that. Like one of the patients that I'm treating, they've been followed by Children's Hospital, and so they have them on a medication. But in addition, they're doing the diet and so forth, and they're doing quite well.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Can I get your phone number?
All right, 202.
Okay, sir.
388. 0992.
0992. And this is your office number?
That's the office number, yes.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right. We're going to try to take this one last caller real quick. Yes, caller, you're on the line.
Hello, Dr. Stephen here. Yeah, God bless you, sir. I'm going to start on the road of success of living healthy and eating healthy. My health concerns is diabetes and sleep apnea.
Okay. What's your height and weight?
Yeah, I'm 5'9" and a quarter, and I'm probably about 222.
Okay, we can help you reverse that in no time.
Very good.
Yeah. So that I tell people, type 2 diabetes for a person who's overweight is one of the easiest things to reverse if they're willing to change. And of course, juicing is a part of it, but there are other things too. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. This is Dr. Theodore Watkins. We've had a outstanding discussion today, and I'm glad we had a lot of callers to share some of their experiences and so forth and ask questions. We talked about the role of juicing with the treatment of cancers and other chronic degenerative diseases. Listen to the replay and have your friends listen to it. And then join us again next week when we're going to have another outstanding topic on To Your Health.